My, oh my, where do I start? So in my last video, which you can watch in the card at the top right, I made a very small point. Quick statement. It wasn't even one of the topics I went on to discuss in the video. I was talking about Fight Night fanboys in my TikTok comment section. I'm gonna go ahead and play the snippet for some context. When I was posting the game in anticipation of an early access date, a lot of it is just saying Fight Night Champion better and when is it coming out on console. Check out the link in the description. You'll find my TikTok, my other accounts, and the Discord server, so make sure to join that. After you like the video and sub with the bell, of course. And let's get back to the video. So I already know I'm gonna ruffle some feathers with this one, but I mean, it just is what it is. You guys, you Fight Night Champion fanboys, y'all are very dedicated, and I'm not sure why. If you're for the sport, like you might claim you are, or if you're for the genre of combat sports / boxing games, like you might claim you are, then the pushback for something new and built for current gen consoles is mind-boggling in my opinion. How is it that the boxing community could be yearning for so long to have a game throughout the PS4 era that we never ended up getting? We only got that Creed VR, whatever. And now that a studio comes out and shows that they're willing to provide us with that, there is so much pushback from this community. I'm not talking about the paragraphs or essays of constructive feedback that you see. I'm talking about the one sentence comments where people say Fight Night Champion better, or oh my goodness, Fight Night Champion looks so good for an old game, better than this. I'm also not even saying all this to say that Fight Night Champion is a bad game. I personally don't like it that much for the online experience, but it's actually a pretty decent game. I just don't understand the cult-like mentality behind the worst Fight Night game and a decent boxing game. Obviously, there's some gray area, you know, there's a lot that SCI has done that's confused the community. It's not been all great. But at the same time, we're talking about a bunch of people who are praying and hoping that EA makes a comeback, which in the grand scheme of things, that's fine. We just know that they're not really interested in doing so. Ultimately, they're going to follow where the money's at. If Undisputed ends up making a lot of money, then, oh, what's this? Suddenly, they might announce a boxing game. And that's not to say that they don't make anything good. Like Respawn had the Titanfall series, along with the Star Wars games. Black Box had the skate games. The older sports games were actually pretty good. Full Circle is leading the new skate game, and that's looking good. But in terms of the newer sports titles, I don't understand why anybody is clamoring for them to make a comeback. They already said themselves they didn't want to go out and acquire so many boxers because that's a tedious, long, and expensive process. But for some reason, now that little old SCI went out and did what EA said was too difficult to do, now suddenly there's a possibility that we could be getting a new Fight Night game. I mean, look, if this new Fight Night is good, then yes, I'll play it. I don't have a heavy favoritism towards one side or the other. I saw that at some point in Undisputed's development cycle that it needed improvement. The whole community saw it. For example, the entire period of early access was just janky, strange gameplay that was worse than the closed betas. Now they added features and fighters and venues to the game, but otherwise, the gameplay was, I mean, come on. And I guess they introduced the new mechanic and all that stuff, but still things need to be worked out and tuned on an animation side of things. It needs to flow and feel good to play, which to be fair, I mean, if you go and pick up an Xbox Series console and get Fight Night Champion, which is a pretty good price, then that will actually be a more enjoyable experience than Undisputed in its current state. We'll find out in October what the game is really all about on release. And that's where I can provide my criticisms and all that. But for right now, I think for all of you who are pushing so hard against this game, you don't know that it's actually not benefiting you either. If this game succeeds, that means that the Fight Night game that could be coming up will actually be better. The reason why Madden is such horseshit is because there is no simulation football competition out there dueling with it. 2K has been adding some stuff over the years. Obviously, they could be less stale and actually listen to their community when it comes to fitting an entire city into 200 gigabytes. But guess what? There's no basketball game out there to compete. So what does 2K do? Look, all I'm saying is, if all you old heads want to continue playing that game, which will not be fueled by new updates, new fighters, new venues, and a breathing community that is only going to grow once it releases, then by all means, go ahead and do so. I personally don't have so much interest in Champion that for something that's new, I want to at least be trying to support it and take some interest in what the developers are offering. So I'll be rocking with them come October. And I mean, truth be told, a lot of you are actually going to buy it just to complain about it, and that only helps support the developers as well. So if you feel like you need to buy it just to complain about it, then we need all the support that we can get for this game to grow. So go ahead and do that. Anyways, next few concepts are going to be talking about what's actually wrong with the Undisputed community. So I guess that'll be something that the Fight Night fanboys enjoy. I'll catch you next time.